When it comes to electric cars, the question I get more than any other is, what's the range? Well, in this case, very good indeed. This is the 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6. It is the single motor rear-wheel drive version, and its range is quite impressive. So is the rest of the car. Get in. This is Family Wheels. I just unplugged the car at 100% charge, firing it up now, and it estimates that the range is 682 kilometers. By the way, miles will come up on the bottom of the screen for those of you who use miles. The specified range on this one-motor rear-wheel drive Ioniq 6, 581. That's 100 kilometers difference. So what could account for that? Well, maybe this estimator is way off. I don't think so. However, mode is important because I've been driving around town here in Vancouver in eco mode. A lot of it depends on your right foot and how heavy you are with it. However, of course, with EVs, you have other considerations, and particularly heating and air conditioning. You can get some pretty severe curtailment of your EV range in cold weather when you're using a lot of heat. Less so with air conditioning, but it too does impact on your EV range. There's an all-wheel drive version. It has a motor in the front as well as in the back. Here, ours is just in the back, and that gives us 225 horsepower. Now that's 95 fewer horsepowers than the all-wheel drive version. You think, well, that makes this vehicle pretty anemic. I disagree. I found it to be plenty useful and fun as well because the drive is at the rear. And I say that 225 is plenty because it's instantaneous electric vehicle torque. Let's go up a steep hill and see what happens. The wheels broke traction very slightly, otherwise very, very stable, even on a wet road going up a steep hill at full throttle. Checking the handling in sport mode with the I pedal on, so that as you back off the throttle a little bit, it brings the nose in thanks to the regenerative braking. A little bit of a slide over some wet railway tracks there. Any car would do that. Overall, some rear-wheel drive fun there. Let's check the brakes on the Ioniq 6. So on a wet road, I did get the ABS to kick in just a little bit. I'm hoping for good things on our neighborhood bumpy road in terms of the ride of the Ioniq 6, because it's got a long wheelbase. So as we go over the patches and potholes and speed bumps, very good ride indeed. Now, its ride on smooth roads is absolutely exemplary. Really, really quiet and smooth. Another way they keep the Ioniq 6 quiet is aerodynamics. It is very aerodynamically efficient. You may have noticed it's got a bit of a droop nose, a drop at the tail, and that all helps with the airflow. But then there's the issue of styling. I like the front end of the car. The rear end, not so much. It's kind of a mess back there. In fact, there's a lot of little chromy bits and things sticking out, and just, to me, make the back of the car look funny. It is a bit bland and monochromatic in here, basically all charcoal gray from one end to the other. However, it is comfortable. Very comfortable seat, power adjusted on the driver's side only. In Canada, it's basically the preferred. Two types, and the difference is rear-wheel drive, which we have here, or all-wheel drive. However, on top of that, you have two packages that are identical for either trim. It's called the Ultimate Package, and it costs a fair bit, $6,700. Here at the so-called basic level, we have what I consider to be excellent cloth upholstery. You walk up, the key and the car communicate with each other, the doors unlock, and the mirrors unfold. Yes, the folding mirrors are standard. We have all the parking sensors here. In fact, they're really, really sensitive. There's a wireless charging pad. However, I note that there's no wireless Apple CarPlay or wireless Android Auto available in here. 2 USB-C ports. We also have heated front seats, not heated rears. Heated steering wheel, very important as far as I'm concerned. And you get that in the basic model. In the United States, things are completely different. There are 4 versions. The SE standard range, which has a smaller battery, 53 kilowatt hours, just 149 horsepower. You have 3 trims above, the SE, the SEL, and the Limited. This is the US again, and they all have the 77.4 kilowatt hour battery. And here's something that no North American trim has. This European version has digital side mirrors in the wings at the end of the dash. The roomy Ioniq 6 aces our child seat test. Behind me, the kind of child seat that takes up the most room, rear facing. Up front, well, I'm 5 feet 11 inches tall, 180 centimeters, and I've got a decent amount of room between my knees and the glove box door. And I could put the seat back a little farther if I wanted. And of note, there is a huge purse bin down here. My wife and I call this a purse bin. Really, it's an anything bin, but thanks to the flat floor and this bridge over the top, you've got a really nice storage space down below. The long wheelbase of the eGMP platform allows for the rear seat to be set fairly far back, and look at all the room I have here in the rear seat. Front seat, driver's seat, is set up for me, and I've got acres of space between my knees and the back of the front seat. Headroom is a different story. I just fit under the headliner here in the Ioniq 6. As far as niceties go, we do have heated rear seats, and we have 2 USB-C ports and standard HVAC vents, but no separate climate controls. I'm more impressed than I expected to be by the rear-wheel drive single-motor Ioniq 6. But what do you think? Leave a comment. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for liking, and thanks for subscribing. I'm Richard Detman, and I'll see you next time on Family Wheels.